I have figured out how to make your main character likable, and in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do it. I wrote a book series that had a main character that I really loved, but got some controversial reviews. Some people really liked her, some people thought she was really annoying, and I couldn't figure out why. It felt so random that some people just liked her, some people just didn't, and in general, people seem to be really rough on main characters, and people think that main characters are annoying. And I was really determined when I just wrote my most recent book to make that main character likable and to figure out how I could do that. I just sent that book off to beta readers and I have gotten rave reviews about that main character. Everybody seems to really like her up until she makes kind of a stupid decision, but it's pretty justified. Everybody likes spending time with her, and I think that it's because of this one thing. And that's making me really jazzed, because now that is something that I can carry forward into all of the different books that I write. So first, why is it important for your main character to be likable? Your character doesn't have to be likable so much as they have to be enjoyable. Your readers have to enjoy spending time in that character's head, or else they're not gonna want to. Your character can be insane. They can make really crazy decisions, they can actually murder people, they can do things that are objectively bad, but your readers can still like them because they enjoy spending time with them and they're entertaining in some way. I have found that character likability comes down to two things. First, agency, and second, sense of humor.
There's also actually a third thing, which I have noticed this week when I've been going through my beta reader feedback, and that is intelligence. And a character who makes smart decisions takes the time to consider the things that are happening to them and actually makes a smart choice is very endearing to readers. It makes readers want to get on their side and support them through their actions, because no one really wants to read a character who's making the dumbest possible decision over and over and over again and getting into trouble. So I'm going to expand on the other two a lot more, but wanted to chime in here and give you a heads up about the intelligence thing, because I found that when my character was actually making really smart decisions, my readers were all for her. And then as soon as she started making some dumb, more impulsive, like emotional decisions, people started to lose interest in her and get kind of annoyed with her.
A character with agency is an active member of your story. They want something and they go after what they want, and they don't just sit around waiting for stuff to happen to them. Movement through a story plays a huge role in how sympathetic your character is. If everything is always happening to your main character and they're not making choices, even if they're bad choices, they don't have opinions, they don't have motivations for anything, then they're not going to be interesting. You can use the jug of milk test. If your story can also happen to a jug of milk, your character's probably not that interesting. Like if your inciting incident is, I don't know, your character is at a rodeo and the cowboy like throws his hat into the audience and then it lands on your character's head and your character just smiles at the cowboy, that could happen to a jug of milk. The cowboy can throw the hat into the audience and then the hat could land on top of the jug of milk. That character had to do absolutely nothing. It was just a stroke of luck that happened. The character's much more interesting if the cowboy throws the hat and she's pushing down other people to like leap off and grab the hat and shove it down on her head and like do this giant smile at the cowboy. That's a much more active thing. She knows what she wants. She's going after the hat. She's making things happen. That makes her a lot more interesting and a lot more likable and less like a jug of milk. I also find the less they complain about things, the more likable they are. Like if a person is always whining about everything in their life, you don't really want to spend time with them. They're really kind of a drag. You don't want to be in the head of someone who's just always complaining about stuff that they really have no right to be complaining about. Your inciting incident may be able to happen to the character, like the cowboy throws the hat, but your main character has to have agency and go after what she wants and do something with the inciting incident. And the second main thing I have found is a character with a sense of humor. You want to have a character that readers will enjoy. It doesn't matter whether they're okay with killing people or like, you know, doing kind of crappy things or can be doing crappy things to other people and like maybe they're morally gray or whatever. They don't have to be like a perfect angel in order for them to be a good character, but they have to be entertaining. And one of the great ways to be entertaining is for that character to have a sense of humor. If they are interesting, if they're opinionated, if they say things in funny ways that make the reader laugh when they're reading, then you know you're doing something right. The character has to be someone that your reader wants to be friends with. It can't be just like this boring jug of milk person that doesn't have any interesting thoughts or doesn't know how to make a joke, because you don't want to be friends with that person. You don't want to spend time with that person. Also, if you give your main character a person or thing that they really love, it also really endears them. Like, I just gave my main character of my new book this little chihuahua that she rescued. It has a lot of opinions about everything, and he's got a lot of attitude and is really quirky, but she just loves this dog. And that really endears her because it shows that she has a heart and shows her humanity. All of that to say, if you can combine those things and make sure that your character has that kind of sense of humor and that agency, you're far more likely to make them be interesting and enjoyable to readers than if you don't, and if you just have them as a passive actor in the story, or a whiner or a complainer or someone who's just kind of solemn all the time and not enjoyable. Your main character has to be enjoyable. I much prefer the term enjoyable to likable, and your main character has to be enjoyable in order to carry a story and make your readers want to spend time with them. And nobody wants to spend time with a jug of milk. So that's it for this video. If you have a second, I'd be super grateful if you could like it and also subscribe to my channel. My name is Claire Fraze, and I'm an award-winning author who makes videos sharing actionable writing tips that helped me make my own writing better. I'm the author of the They Stay series, which is a paranormal thriller series, and book 1, They Stay, won the grand prize at the Writer's Digest 2023 Self-Published Book Awards, which I'm super proud of it of. Do you have any other tips for making characters enjoyable? Are there things that you've noticed when you've been reading that make certain characters enjoyable compared to others? If so, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your tips, and I'm sure other members in our community would too. I hope you have a fantastic week, everyone, and as always, happy writing.